Thanks for checking out our videos online. I think you're going to really enjoy this series. If you would, please take a moment after watching the video and rate it or leave a comment. This will enable us to post many more lessons like this in this series. Thanks. Welcome to Blues for Piano and Keyboard. This is the course introduction through Chapter 3. Gospel, rock and roll, country, or jazz. What do they have in common? Each one of these styles draws heavily on elements of the blues. In fact, if you want to become a great player of gospel, rock and roll, country, or jazz, you've got to first master the blues. In this edition, we're going to explore the form of the blues, as well as some of the basic chord structures and patterns that give the blues their distinctive flavor. Welcome to Blues for Piano and Keyboard. Gospel, rock and roll, country, and jazz music all find their roots in the "I'm so lonesome I could cry" blues. Everyone knows when they hear music that has a blues flavor, whether that's black gospel, rock and country, straight up rock and roll, or swing and jazz. But very few people can produce this kind of music. You certainly can't learn to impart a bit of the blues to your music by reading it off of a page. However, there are certain tips and tricks that are very simple to learn, and they'll quickly get you started in the right direction. That's what I sincerely hope to teach you in this series. Now here's an important point. Everything in this blues course builds on our original course titled Pattern Piano and Keyboard. This original course starts from the ground up, assumes that you've never played, and then quickly progresses through college-level techniques. Check it out at PlayPianoTODAY.com. The first thing we need to do is look at the form of the blues. Maybe you've heard of the 12-bar blues. This means that there are 12 measures or bars that repeat over and over. Within each of these 12 bars or measures, there's 4 beats. As you listen to the upcoming audio, watch for the circle. It will follow along with the chords that I'm playing on the piano. Okay, here we go. Here's C, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, back to C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, second line. Here's F, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, back to C, 2, 3, 4, C. Here's G, G, 2, 3, down to F, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G. All right, take it home. Nah, that's funky. Let's figure out how to play this stuff. In the next audio clip, you're going to hear me talk about fifths, sixths, and sevenths. Now, if you took our original course, you already know how fifths, sixths, and sevenths are built. But just to be sure, let's do a quick refresher. How do we build a fifth? For the sake of practice, let's say we want to build a fifth in the scale of C major. Starting on the root of the C major scale, count up 5 notes in the scale of C. It's easy to count up 5 notes in the scale of C. After all, they're all white notes. However, if you understand the first 20 minutes of our original course titled Pattern Piano, you'll understand very clearly how to build a fifth in any key or scale. Once you've built a fifth, it's very easy to find the sixth of the scale. To find the sixth, simply count up one more note in the scale of C. Now let's find the seventh. In this lesson, we need to find a very bluesy kind of seventh. It's called a dominant seventh, and it's the very next note up from the sixth. Notice that the dominant seventh is a black note in this case because that's the very next note up from the sixth. Now that you know what fifths are, let's use them to build a simple foundation in the blues. Look at the blue box again, the 12-bar blues. For each chord, I'm going to play a fifth built on that chord and hold it for 4 beats. Here we go. C, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, second line, F, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, last line, G, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, 3, you can do it, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. Rewind it until you can do that. Maybe you're way beyond that, but if you need to, rewind it, listen to it, get it, and then we'll move on. In the last audio clip, I played a fifth for each chord, and then I held it for 4 beats, like this. Now we're going to start using those sixths and sevenths that we studied in the last chapter. Remember, to make a sixth, count up 1 note higher from the fifth. Super important. Count up 1 note in the scale of the chord that you're playing. Now, let me teach you a simple trick to do that. In our original course titled Pattern Piano, we looked at how all major scales are a simple pattern of half steps and whole steps. Because of this, some scales look radically different. For instance, C major has no black notes, while A major has 3 black notes. But they're all based on the same simple pattern of half steps and whole steps. Now here's the trick. If you learn to use this pattern, you'll be able to quickly find any note, no matter what key you're in. Make sure you get the original course. We'll also be using the dominant seventh in this audio clip. The dominant seventh is the bread and butter chord of the blues, and it's the #1 spice that you'll use as you learn to cook up those yummy blues. Now the dominant seventh chord is a different beast. Don't worry about what key you're in. Just find the sixth and then go to the very next note higher. Remember, some dominant sevenths will be black notes and some will be white notes. Just remember to go to the very next note up from the sixth, no matter what key you're in. Now we're going to use the fifth, sixth, and seventh in each measure. On the first beat of each measure, we're going to play a fifth, just like we did in the last example. On the second beat, I'm going to stretch my hand up to a sixth. And on the third beat, I'm going to go up a little higher to a dominant seventh. And on the fourth beat, I'm going to come back down to a sixth. So the first measure, or C, is going to sound like this, all 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go to the second measure, which is an F. Sounds like this. So 1, 2, 3. Back down to C. To the third measure, another C. Now look at the second line. There's an F. 2, 3. Another F. Back down to a C. Now go down to the bottom line. There's a G. 1, 2, and then an F, 2, 3, or C, 2, 3, 4, and a G, 2, 3, 4. Now soon we're going to add this in the right hand to it. Isn't that cool? Ah, it's funky.